24 billion hours are wasted each year because of unproductive meetings. That is quite simply a staggering number. Going one step further, the majority, which is around 83%, of all employees will spend up to 1/3 of their work week in meetings. It is no wonder then that most of us see meetings as a monumental waste of time. I mean, like Mark Twain said in Of Mice and Men, not all meetings are the same. All are important, but some are more important than others. Okay, granted, I have used a little bit of poetic license there, but the ethos is true because we all spend too much time in meetings. But there is one exception to this. The one-to-one meeting. Between you and your team members, this time is sacred. It is a real opportunity to build the relationship between you and your direct reports. The problem is that most are done poorly. Fret not though, because by the end of this video, you will have the 6 tips to run great one-to-one meetings. Now I'm going to put it out there and say that the most important thing you can do as a manager is meet regularly with your direct reports. This is not something you should do, but something you must do. Of course, there are other important meetings during the week, but I believe the one-to-one meetings are must-do, can't-miss meetings. This is your single best opportunity to listen to what your team are saying. Not just pay lip service, but to really listen. It's in these situations that you can learn what's going on from your team's perspectives. What is working versus what not is working. It is a safe space to talk without judgment or bias. This is how you build trust with people. But here's the thing. It's not about you. It's about your employee. It's not a time for updates. It's a time for the employee to raise what's on their mind. It's not just a tick box exercise. It's an opportunity to connect with your team. These are often misunderstood aspects of the one-to-one meeting. Oh, and they should not be moved, because this shows commitment to your team. Now, on the other hand, it is all too easy to fall into the trap of using one-to-ones as a place to potentially dump all the criticism you've been saving up for somebody. This is very much not the purpose. All that will do is alienate the team. I mean, the purpose of a one-to-one meeting is to listen and then clarify. This is to understand what direction each person working for you wants to head in, and in turn, what is blocking them from achieving that. During a one-to-one meeting in a previous company, I remember talking through a topic that had been bothering me. My boss at the time used to get up really early, like 5 a.m. early. It was at this time that messages would start to appear in my inbox or Teams channels. I mean, that was fine, but he was put out when my reply wouldn't come until post 9:30. That's when we sat down and talked it through. You may get up at 5 a.m, I said, but don't expect everyone else to do the same. I go to the gym before work, so I start later, but that also means that I may send messages at 8 p.m. when you've logged off. I don't have kids, so I can work more easily into the evening, where he liked to start early. Until we sat down and talked it through, it was a point of contention. But after that one-to-one, it wasn't a problem. We were honest with each other. It worked much better. It's with that in mind that here are my 6 tips for having super productive one-to-one meetings. Number 1, the right mindset. It's not hyperbole to say that if you get your mindset right, your one-to-ones will be drastically better. One of the best ways I found was to change my own thinking. Once I stopped thinking about them as meetings and switched to treating them as catch-ups over coffee, it all changed. I made the mental switch to think that this was time I was spending to get to know someone better. This little change ended up having a huge benefit though, because it yielded much better conversations. In recent months, I've been trialing a few different things as well. After reading how Steve Jobs used to conduct walking meetings to help with creativity and remove mental blocks, I've started to do the same with my team. The act of getting out of the office, changing the scene and having a more relaxed environment helps put the other person at ease. Remember, the purpose is to allow a safe and comfortable space for your team members to be open with you. Number 2 is frequency. It sounds obvious, but the frequency with which you have your one-to-ones will vary depending on the size of your team. I mean, this goes beyond just the recurring event status in your calendar. I mean, that's a given. One-to-ones are not a one and done thing. The challenge we face is that time doesn't scale, you see, so we can't make more of time, but we can be more concerted over how we spend it. The frequency will also directly impact your relationships. As a leader, your one-to-one meetings should be a natural bottleneck. That's in the sense that there is a limit to how many direct reports a boss can have. So from a personal point of view, I like to meet with my team leads for 50 minutes a week. With 5 direct reports, this equates to just over 5 hours a week. That's fine. But remember, listening is hard work, and when it's done properly, it can be quite tiring. Now, whilst I'm pretty good at it through my training and work as a life coach, I don't have endless reserves of concentration. And that's why I want to make sure my team have my best. This means scheduling when is best for my team and ensuring that they happen over video conference, even when remote. This includes doing the small but important things, so don't cancel 10 minutes in advance. Don't move the meeting frequently, and don't answer emails when your team are talking. So the takeaway? The number of direct reports you have will constrain the number of one-to-ones you have. Number 3 is show up. I'm going to go out on a limb when saying that this is probably the most important advice for any one-to-one meetings, is really just to show up. This builds on the point that I made previously about making time to meet with your team, because showing up takes many forms, but this is about bringing your best self. There's no point just going through the motions. It's like feedback. It's easy to say, but hard to do well. So don't turn up and mentally be elsewhere. I mean, this may be the highlight of your direct reports week, especially if they've got something that's been bothering them and they want to talk it through with you. So be present. Ignore the noise. Don't lose focus. Because giving 50 minutes of uninterrupted time is the least you can do, or however long your one-to-ones are. These are people who are ultimately going to make you look good, so one way to help here is to think, I'm here to make a difference in the life of this person. So why not invest in them? This will pay back big time in the long run. So no matter what fires erupt during the day, don't cancel your one-to-ones. The takeaway? Be there. Be present. Number 4 is it's not your agenda. The short answer is it's not your meeting. It's not for you. It's for your direct report. So it's super important that they set the agenda for the one-to-one meeting. This means they are more productive because they allow you to listen to what matters to them. That doesn't mean an agenda isn't needed though. I mean, I would recommend setting some simple expectations of how you would like it to be delivered. I mean, as mentioned, I have introduced walk and talk meetings to give the direct report a chance to relax. This means having a rigid structure would be difficult, but that said, if a specific topic needed to be discussed, then of course I would find an appropriate meeting room or collab area or quiet space to talk. If you want to do a structured agenda, say so in advance. But don't get cross if you don't say anything and then you don't get what you want. Whether you want a structured agenda or a more free-flowing meeting, the agenda should be directed by your direct report, not you. At the end of the day, your job is to hold people accountable, so this includes when they come unprepared. You need to decide whether that's fine or if this sets a precedent which you want to avoid. So the takeaway? The agenda should never be set by you. Number 5 is follow up. The one-to-one is not just a forum to chat, but also one where you can ask follow-up questions to delve deeper into a particular topic. The purpose is twofold. 1, firstly, it allows you to show you're listening, and secondly, it shows you care. If you can help your direct report close the gap which they are struggling with, this will be a closer bond between you and your team. This can be easier said than done though, so here are a couple of questions to help. For example, how can I help? What can I do or stop doing that would make this easier? What are you working on that you don't want to work on? Do you not want to work on it because you're not interested or because you think it's not important? Have you talked about it to other team members about your concerns? The last question is all about encouraging people to raise the issue directly with each other, not to solve the problem for them. Having trained as a life coach, using open-ended, unbiased, non-judgmental questions are the core tenet to unblocking problems. When starting out, it is easier for the mind to go blank, especially when paying attention to your conversation. So that's why having several questions ready is super helpful. There's a book called And the Next Question Is a great resource to have, and I'll put a link in the description below. But please remember, it is not to prejudge the question that you want to ask. So if there is something you want to ask, write it down. Because if the conversation moves in a different direction, you may want to let that point go because it's no longer relevant. But don't hold on to it, because by doing so, you're probably tuning out to the conversation you're having, and then this only gives the impression that you're not listening, which is probably true in that case. Number 6 is signs you're failing. There is no doubt that one-to-ones are valuable meetings. They allow your direct reports to share their thinking and to help work through which direction they want to go, both in work and career-wise. As ever, there is an equal and opposite reaction. One-to-ones give you early signs that you are getting it wrong as a boss. This may be hard to hear, but wouldn't you rather know things are going wrong as soon as possible? I think so. So here are some signals to look out for. Lots of cancellations. If people who report to you cancel too often, it's a sign your partnership is not fruitful for them. Updates only. These are not opportunities just for updates, rather encourage your direct report to use the time more constructively. Only good news. If you hear only good news, it's a sign people don't feel comfortable coming to you with their problems. This is a bad sign. If you start hearing this, then you need to explicitly ask for bad news so you can get a heads up on what's happening and not for it to blindside you later on. No criticism. If they never criticize you, you're not good enough at getting guidance from your team. Lack of agenda. If they consistently come with no topics to discuss, this is a bad sign because it could indicate that they're overwhelmed or don't consider it useful. This is where you need to be polite but direct. To ask, this is your time, but you don't appear engaged. Can I ask why? One-to-one meetings can feel like a real annoyance, especially when you, as a boss, are busy. But this is when you need to bring your A game. This is precious time your direct reports get to spend with you, so give it the respect it deserves. It's about giving your directs what they need. Sometimes the conversation may not even be about work, and yes, this might feel a little bit like therapy sessions at times, but that's okay. This is about what they need. But try to end on a note of appreciation and gratitude. Don't say anything you're not comfortable with, but giving an affirmation means a lot to employees. A simple thank you, I really appreciate the work you're doing, is hugely powerful. And that's it. One-to-ones are a great tool in the toolbox and really worth spending time getting good at. Your teams will definitely benefit from it, and I think you'll be surprised at how much more productive and of a closer bond you can have with your direct reports. But do you want to know which of the 5 insanely simple secrets to career success are? Well, in that case, please do check out this video here because I think you'll find it super useful. But with that, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.